It didn't take long. There's already a report that the NFL will consider expanding replay this offseason. And according to the Washington Post, the league plans to look at pass interference and other calls that haven't been able to be reviewed previously. So no surprise after what happened at the end of the Rams-Saints game. We know the NFL can be swayed by public sentiment, and the general rule of instant replay is that more is better. Leagues rarely scale back in this area. But keep in mind, when the NFL tries something, there's usually unintended consequences. And just think about replay itself. You'd think there would be less controversy than there was back in the day. That's not the case. There's more controversy now with replay than there was back in the day when you didn't have replay. They can expand what's reviewable, and there's still going to be tough calls to be made. What happened in New Orleans was embarrassing for the league and should never happen again, but it's not that simple. Technology can't fix everything. The NFL is always going to have controversy because the games are so important. We care about them. The key is the league is trying everything they can to make the game fair as possible. Now, did anybody think of the following? Maybe you just had an official who made an error. I mean, obviously it's a huge mistake, but he made a mistake. How many other calls of this magnitude have we been subjected to? Not many. I mean, this is deciding who goes to the Super Bowl. So then we want to change the entire system. Okay, I'm with you, but how are we changing the entire system? I'm waiting for somebody to propose something where you go, oh, okay, that makes sense, without it being, let's review that. Are we reviewing holding? Are we going to give each coach a challenge flag that can only be used in the final 5 minutes? My solution was the following. How about you had the official who was about 15 yards away walk in and say to the official who was about 4 yards away, let's get together. I think we missed one there. I think what was at play was ego. Because you don't want to embarrass an official who was right there, who missed the call. He missed 3 calls. Pass interference, helmet to helmet, and a defenseless receiver. Other than that, you got the call right. How many times have you seen the following? Oh, there's 3 flags on the play. Well, there are 3 flags, and they're all on the same call. So why couldn't I have the officials help the other official there? And you could always pick it up. They do it. Hey, upon further review, we didn't see whatever. Or in the playoffs, maybe only in the playoffs, you have somebody at mission control who is there in contact with the officials just to say, guys, huddle up. And you do that as a precautionary measure. Hey, huddle up. We missed one. That's all. Because if I gave the head of officials, Al Riveron, a do-over, a mulligan, and I said, hey, you could do this, would you do it? He would do it. Because they don't want this. And as I said yesterday, I think somebody loses their job over this. And they shouldn't. The NFL's been very quiet on this. But here's the problem. You got 12 more days to deal with it. There's no football. Got to deal with it. And the Pro Bowl is not distracting us, by the way. Oh, you know, Pro Bowl, I got distracted in this competitive game. I forgot all about what happened in New Orleans. So that would be my solution. If we have these moments, and I just want to help those officials. It's the hardest sport to officiate. So much on the line. And if I can help you, I'm sorry, your ego might be bruised. I would rather your ego was bruised than you lose your job or somebody's going to threaten you. And that will happen. Probably has happened. I don't want to get to that point. But I don't want to change something because of one play. Because we have a lot of plays during a game. You can call holding every play. At some point, you can. You know, there was a pick play in the Chiefs-Patriots game. Could have called that. Belichick was livid with that. All right, you want to use your challenge? You can't use it there. You can only use it in the final 5 minutes of the game, final 3 minutes of the game. And it's no matter what the play is, you can get it reviewed. But you don't, if you're correct, get another reviewable flag. That's it. It's one and done, and both coaches get it, let's say, in the final 3 minutes there. But I would think if you got officials together and just said, hey, are you trying to tell me that no other official thought anything was amiss on that call in New Orleans? You can't believe that for a second. I don't care what angle. You had to see something there. The timing of it, a defensive back not even seeing the football, and then going helmet to helmet. So before we say, hey, we got to change everything, I want to know what we're changing. Because we might change and go, wait a minute here. It's like Brexit. Hey, let's get out of here. Wait, what? What do we do? I don't want to do that. I don't want to have that moment for the NFL. I don't like the call. It costs New Orleans. New Orleans costs New Orleans too. Does it come down to that play? Yes. And somebody's going to lose their job over this. But before we go, let's have blanket changes here across the board. I want it thought out a little bit better, and it will be. But that was the first thing that stood out when I started to look at what is reviewable. Is everything reviewable? Because then you're going to get, hey, that offensive lineman was holding my guy. Okay, you're going to use it there? Fine. But as far as pass interference, it's still tricky to call. And it's bang, bang. We got high definition. We got, all these camera angles. All right, why aren't we using them to make sure the game is called correctly? And I think a lot of it has to do with ego. These officials, we see this in baseball. These guys don't want to be told. The umpire, they don't want a replay. They don't want to be second-guessed. They don't want to be embarrassed. But if you gathered all of those referees together, and that's what I would have done. If I was the head of officials and I'm in New York at Mission Control and I'm looking at this in real time, they show the replay, I get on the headset and go, huddle up, guys. Huddle up. Give me some time here. I want to make sure we get this right. Then why don't we do that? Because if you did that, they would have said, upon further review. And that's all. They got it right, and that's all we want. I don't care how you get it right, just get it right.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.